All right, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. Double A Hef here. This is part two of what is accountability. We left off with these two super liberal uh, knuckleheads talking some nonsense, man. So we're about to get right back into it. Let's go.
Answer that for you. We'll come back to that.
Now you're saying if he would have just complied,
Yes.
and this is his fault for not complying.
Yes.
Okay. So in turn,
Do you agree to that?
yeah.
You know what's interesting? The dude on the far left is laughing, and you know what's interesting to me? I don't get me wrong. I understand that Jesse Lee Peterson. I understand how he's viewed in the quote unquote black community. Now, do I agree with everything that he says? No. Do I agree with a lot of things, like a lot of his ideas? No. But some of the things that he says are true and resonate, and our people could definitely stand to learn from. But this guy on the left is laughing, and and he's not going to learn anything. He's not learning anything, because he just wants to embrace a victimhood mentality that keeps us down. He's keeping himself down and doesn't even know it.
Absolutely not.
You don't agree that it's his fault that he would not comply?
Death?
No. You don't agree that it's his fault that he would not comply?
Okay, so you're
Do
saying,
you think, was that his fault?
okay, not complying is not his fault.
It is.
But once I say I can't breathe,
Stay with me with this.
okay, once I say I can't breathe, stop.
Take a breath.
No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. If I just rob a bank and then it gets into a shootout and I'm shooting my way out and I shoot a couple cops and I'm running and then they catch me because they didn't shoot me for some reason and they actually caught me, and then I'm still resisting. I don't have a gun. I'm still resisting, and then they start choking me out, and then I say I can't breathe. They're supposed to just fucking stop, huh? Like, this ain't tag, nigga, and this ain't home base. Oh, I'm safe. I'm safe. Like, no, it don't work like that. You put yourself in that stupid ass position, so you got to deal with the fucking consequences. Period. Like, and see, they don't want to accept accountability. And it's crazy. It's not even accountability for themselves. They don't even want the next nigga to accept accountability. Like, if Eric Garner was still alive, right, or say not even still alive, say we could talk to him in the other plane, right, and ask this nigga, like, yo, like, what are your thoughts on what happened? I would like to think that this nigga would have at least, like, be able to look back and say, well, I probably shouldn't have did that. It's on me. I resisted. If I can go back, I wouldn't resist. I would just be like, you know what, just, to take me in. I'll be out in 24 hours or whatever the case may be. But then again, I don't know, because I don't know that nigga. And I do know this. I do know a lot of people in the black community don't got no sense. Because like I said in part one, you don't know what the fuck you don't know. And if you don't know sense, you just don't know no sense. It's that simple, but it's also that fucking sad too.
It's his fault.
Stop, Shang. You're resisting.
I'm resisting.
Take a breath. You're
Was it
resisting.
his
You know
fault?
what? I am.
Was it his?
And now they're mocking the deceased, and then they're comedians. They're not funny. They're not funny. I don't find them funny at all. And their take on this I find to be dangerous, potentially dangerous.
Fault that he would not comply.
Okay, was it his fault to die?
No, that's not the question.
I already answered the question.
What's the answer?
If you want to go by the police rules, it was his fault for not complying.
No.
Okay.
If you want to go by the police rules, it was his fault for not complying. Well, let's start with the selling of the Lucy's. You shouldn't have been doing that. So that's strike one. And then strike two was resisting arrest. Unfortunately for this brother, he didn't get a strike three. All right? Unfortunately. Fortunately for him, he hit the ball right back to the pitcher, and the pitcher caught it. He's out. That's it. You only got 2 strikes, brother. No 3. All right.
I
That's
don't.
amazing.
But if
A
that's the case,
chokehold for
He was a big
cigarettes.
old
But wait, wait, wait.
A
If
guy,
that's the
shoots,
case,
a guy shoots 9 people in a church, and you stop at Burger King and get him a burger.
Well, wait,
Nobody
hold on,
choke him.
wait.
Okay, and then that again is something that the liberal quote unquote blacks like to do as well. They like to juxtapose what has happened to a quote unquote black person to the treatment of a quote unquote white person. Now, I've spoken on this several times. Let me say this, because I said it in a video before, but if you haven't seen that video, let me say this. In this country that we call America, the USA, right? Black people always act shocked and oh my god, and when we aren't treated quote unquote fairly or equally. But there's no such thing as equal, number one, and that I could do a whole video on that in itself. But black people always like, oh my god, so surprised I'm not being treated fairly. You have to understand something. When you think of the country America or USA, supplement those words for white country. Every time, just supplement those words. I mean, replace those words with white country. So, in white country, a black man was killed for selling Lucy's, and also today in white country, a white shooter that killed 9 people was taken to Burger King on his way to jail. Now, when you say it like that, it's like, okay, well, obviously, white country is going to treat white better. Obviously. So there's no point in even trying to make that comparison. Now, if you want equality or freedom or whatever the case may be, the only way you can do that would be to do what? Have your own country, and then call it black country. And now, if you had your country, right, and it was black country, and then you could make the storyline whatever the fuck you want to make it. And hopefully you make it to be more favorable for you. Hopefully. But yeah, also they always try to pull this. Oh well, what about this guy? What about that guy? You have to understand something. Accountability is independent. It's independent and it's not relying upon or contingent upon something else being followed. Okay, it's not contingent upon, oh well, Dylan Roof got Burger King, so because of that, I don't have to hold myself accountable. No, that is not how it works. Accountability is independent.
Wait. If we're going by police rules, if that's what we're going
The
by,
problem with you guys-
once the cops have him down,
What do you mean going by police rules? This is common sense. This ain't police rules. Common sense. That if a cop tells you you're under arrest, what is the point in trying to resist it? Like I said, like in basketball, I've seen these guys fight foul calls or calls all the damn time. I've never seen it get reversed. You want to fight with the cop? Look, man, look. Like the cop has a job to do. And if you want to escalate that shit, then that's on you. That's on you. If I have interactions with the police, I want it to go by as fast as possible. I'm trying to expedite it. I'm trying to speed this shit up. You want to give me a ticket? Okay, here you go. Everything you need, boom, boom, boom. That's it. Whatever the case may be, or whatever. I'm not trying to go back and forth and cry, to the cop, because not for nothing. The cop ain't the judge. All right, the cop's job is to charge you, to give you charges, okay, and then book you. Once you get booked and processed for the charges, depending on the severity of them, then obviously you can get out. Make bail, whatever the case may be. But that's it. Not worth your life.
once he utters the words, "I can't breathe," you've done your.
Wrong, you fucking idiot. Wrong. If someone utters the words, "I can't," like I said, if I robbed the fucking bank and I got in a shootout and I shot a bunch of people or I ran and then they caught me and I'm still resisting arrest and then they get me down and I say, "I can't breathe," that's not a safe word. It's not like, okay, we got him. That's it. I said I can't breathe. Everyone get off of him. Let him get up. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works, man. And you still have to be under arrest. They still have to detain you. And not for nothing, you could be lying. You could be lying. You could have a knife on you or something. I don't know. Again, they didn't search Eric Garner. They don't know what the fuck he had on him. And it's not. Look. My life, like I said, is valuable to me. High price tag on my life. If I'm a cop and someone tells me they can't breathe and I don't know what the fuck they got on them, I'm going to be apprehensive and stopping what I'm doing. Because I could be like, okay, let me be a good human, good Samaritan, and let me take a step back, and then I got a knife to my fucking neck. Now I don't get to go home and see my family no more. I prioritize my life. And police officers, I have no problem with police officers prioritizing their life over the fucking idiots that they come across. I have no problem with that. No problem with that. And it's not about a level of, oh, these cops are so scared. It's not about being scared. It's about, I want to go home. And I value my life way more than you apparently value yours.
Job as the cop. Hold on, you've done your job as the cops. He's not punching.
No, their job is to arrest and detain and bring in to the precinct and process charges against. That's their fucking job. Not to fucking stop somebody, have them say I can't breathe, and then okay, we're done here.
He's not kicking. He's not reaching for weapons. He's on the ground.
Listen, he wasn't reaching for weapons yet. Who the hell knows? A 22 caliber gun is small. A handgun is small. You know what I'm saying? A pocket knife, those are small. But those could fucking take your life.
He can't breathe. Once he's down.
Hell, even a fucking razor.
By police rules,
you're misleading.
No.
How is that misleading?
Witness.
No, that's not misleading anybody. You just said that the dude was on the ground.
He was still resisting.
So he's on the ground
handcuff.
saying,
Let's give an example. Tamir Rice.
Yes.
Okay? You said something
That's
real.
a young black guy down in Ohio.
No, that's a young black boy.
Right?
Not a young
That's
black
a
guy.
boy. He was 11 years old.
Whatever you want to
He's
call
a
him.
boy.
I
Can't call him what he is.
I want
Do
to
not.
establish-
No.
I want to say whatever.
Do not.
Calm down. Calm down.
This nigga, do not. Like, yeah, Jesse, tell his ass to calm down. Like, chill out, man. Chill out. All right? Now, again, the Tamir Rice story, that was very unfortunate. And this is what I'll say about that. When I was growing up, when I was a little boy, I remember the first time I seen a cap gun. Well, as a little boy, you play with like guns and shit like that. You play cops and robbers, stuff like that. And then, the first time I seen a cap gun, I was amazed. Like, oh my God, this is fucking cool as hell, And then I didn't think anything of it. But then my older brother, I think, was the one that showed me, take off the orange tip and make it look real. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That's cool, So I would, have it, yada yada. And this is in Brooklyn. I was still in Brooklyn at the time. And I used to have fun. And I'll never forget, one day, I don't know where I got the cap gun from, but I had the cap gun, and my stepdad, he saw me with it, and he was like, whoa, what are you doing with that? And I was like, it's just a cap gun. And he was very adamant about like me not having that cap gun, to the point where he took it and broke it. And I was mad as hell, like, yo, what the fuck? I wasn't saying what the fuck, but like, obviously I was young, but I was mad as hell, like, yo, like, damn. He's like, oh, you don't need no gun. I said, it's not a real gun. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to explain, it's not a real gun. It's a fake gun. It's just a cap gun. I'm just using it to play. And then he was saying, it could be mistaken for a real gun. It could easily be mistaken for a real gun, or whatever the case may be. And at that time, obviously, my whole perspective on life was very, very small. I was young, and I didn't understand. On a grander scheme. Now, when I got into like my teenage years, obviously I got it. When I would see other little kids, not other little kids. When I would see little kids with it, when I was like in my teenage years, it reminded me of my experience with my stepdad with it. So, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I definitely, I get it now. So then the whole Tamir Rice thing happens. And when I found out about it, I was like, damn, like, yo, You know, like if Tamir Rice had somebody in his life like I did, then he could still be alive. Because if I didn't have my stepfather in my life, because my mother, I think she didn't mind us playing with cap guns. But my stepdad, he had an issue with that. So I say this to say this: if I didn't have my stepdad in my life, I could have been a Tamir Rice. I could have been. Now, would that have been my fault as a child? No, it wouldn't have been my fault as a child. Because again, you don't know what you don't know. But whose fault would it be on? Some might say the mother, because all these black households are led by women. But no, it goes back to the black man. Because you're not there, black man. You're not there in the household to steward over your children and make sure that they're doing the right things. And that they're not running around with cap guns and taking the tips off and making it look more real. It's on you. So the Tamir Rice story is one that really resonated with me. And again, it's very unfortunate. And I don't blame Tamir Rice per se, because he's a child, a young boy, doing what young boys do, doing something that I did. But everything has a consequence to it. And we have to start holding ourselves accountable as a community and not making excuses saying, oh, well, you know, he shouldn't have to die or whatever. And I know there's going to be some people that's going to say, oh, it's still a toy, so what, we can't have toys now? Huh? We can't have toys? Look, you got to understand something. This is white country. You don't get the same breaks that they might get. Yeah, you're right. A little white boy might be able to, you know, run around with a fucking, not even a cap gun, a fucking pellet gun. You know what I'm saying? He might be able to run around with that shit and not get shot. You know, that might be able to happen. But again, in white country, white boy lives, and in white country, black boy, maybe not. So what are you going to do? Are you going to learn how to play the game, or are you going to keep complaining? Because in the interim, time is passing, and we're losing lives to nonsense. So we have to hold ourselves accountable. And it starts with you, black man. You have to hold yourself accountable. When you hold yourself accountable, you then have the power to hold others around you accountable, mainly starting in your house. But if you don't hold yourself accountable, then you can't hold anyone accountable, because the second you try to hold them accountable, they're going to point out your flaws and how you're not holding yourself accountable. And they're not going to respect you.
Guys,
Hold on, no, hold on, man. Hold on. Do not call him a man. He's an 11-year-old boy.
12-year-old boy with a
you
toy
can have
gun.
your boy. But I just want to establish for the audience who you're talking about.
Okay, the audience.
You're talking about
Tamir Rice. If you don't know Tamir Rice,
A child.
He's the
Child.
He was a child.
Hold on,
with a toy
guys.
gun.
He's the black male that was in Ohio.
Black male.
He had a BB gun in the park, and there were people who saw him with this BB gun in the park. They thought he had a real gun because he had taken off the orange tip. And so by taking off the orange tip, it looked like a real gun. They called the cop, hey, there's a guy in the park waving a gun. The cop showed up. The boy
There's a
pulled the
guy in the
gun
park?
out while the cop was pulling up. He pulled it out, and he got killed.
2 seconds.
He got killed.
In 2 seconds.
That's all it
and he was-
takes.
and he was behind the
You want the
counter.
cops to
2 seconds.
wait? You
Then
want
he
the
got
cops
out
to
of
wait?
the car.
drop your gun.
2 seconds.
You want the cops to wait?
I want the
2
cop to
seconds?
yell, drop your gun. I want you to step back from the weapon, drop your gun. Not, oh, hey, whoop, pow.
You don't get
gun.
out, pop, pop, pop. That's not police procedure.
Let me ask you
But
this.
for black people, it seems to be police procedure. That's the point.
Let me ask you
But
this.
wait, hold on for please 1 second. Please.
It is police procedure.
Please
for
1
them just to
second.
shoot. And
Please.
then, oh, I'm sorry.
Please 1 second. Please stop diminishing what this is, dude. Please stop diminishing the life of this child, dude. It's when you say somebody called in and they said there's a man waving a gun. He's a 12-year-old child playing in a park with guns
He
that they
was big-
with guns
he
that
was
they
a
sell
big
at
boy
toy
for his
stores.
age. He didn't look like a little child. He was a big boy for his
Man.
age. So
Man.
he
wait a
didn't
minute.
look like
Okay,
a
let's
young
just go
guy.
by. Hold up, let's go by the facts.
So look, he was a young boy, like I said, playing with a gun, and that's what happened. That's what happened, man. And when the call was made by whoever made the call, he may have appeared to them to be older than what he was. Regardless, we have to go to the root. And the root is he was in a position to be mistaken for someone possibly older and for someone to actually have a real gun. That's what accountability gets you, or lack of accountability. When you have accountability, you can address those issues. When you don't, unfortunately, you can't. And what these brothers right here are doing, they're doing a great disservice to the community. Now they think that they're on the side of, yeah, man, like this is it. We woke. We woke. We fighting the cops and the pigs and all that stuff, and you're really not, man.
Look, I want to move
Do you
forward.
think 2 seconds he couldn't have warned him? Even if he was
He
a man.
didn't say drop your
Even if
weapon.
he was a man, I'll give you that. You're a cop. Drop the weapon. Drop the weapon, sir. Drop the weapon.
Give him time to comply.
And this child.
See, like, this shit is so stupid sometimes. It's so stupid sometimes. Like listen to that. If you see somebody, like, let's just assume that Tamir was older and he did have a gun. This guy said, tell him to drop his weapon and give him time to comply. Now, I don't know about you, but if somebody has a gun, and I'm not sure if I'm going to tell them, hey, put your gun down and give them time to comply, because that time to comply is time for them to kill me. And again, I'm not trying to die. I'm not trying to die, and I'm not trying to make light of what happened to Tamir. Obviously, I'm making a hypothetical situation here. But no, sorry. Once you have a gun, then you kind of remove those options away. You no longer have those options. It's for me to just say, oh, hey, take your time, put the gun down. Like, no, that shit could kill me, and it can kill others around.
Probably been like, oh, and dropped the weapon, no death. But instead of just black, pop, pop, pop.
So let me ask this.
That's a little.
Let me ask this
extreme.
question.
Well,
How do you people ever plan to get ahead?
You people?
Meaning black people. How do
Okay,
you
us
ever,
people, you mean, because you black too.
How do you ever plan to get ahead in life?
And that's another thing that I speak about oftentimes. Because, he said you people, and he said, oh, you mean we people. Black people always try to include everybody that's quote-unquote black into a group. You gotta understand something. Everyone that's quote-unquote melanated is not the fucking same. Okay? There are differences. I'm not gonna go into all of that right now in this video, but there are differences. I mean, I've spoken about this before in videos in the past, but I think I need to do like another video, like going in greater detail that there are differences. Okay? Not every quote-unquote melanated person is quote unquote black. Like, for instance, every quote unquote white person ain't the same, right? You might have 10 white people in a room, and then I go around and ask them, and they might all be different. Like, one might be fucking Irish, the next might be fucking Russian, the next might be Greek, the next might be fucking Spaniard, the next might be fucking from Norway. You know what I'm saying? The next might be fucking Dutch, or whatever the case may be, right? So, that's like looking at an Asian person and saying that they're all Chinese. Same thing. Just because someone has the same hue as you doesn't mean you're the same. Okay? So we gotta stop that shit too.
You really said you.
He said you people. That's what he said. You
No,
people.
wait a minute.
Us.
Okay, all right.
Us people.
Okay,
Wouldn't it be something if he undressed and it was Trump under the...
I told you this show was going to be huge. It's a huge show.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
cutting your health care.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
I am.
But that's pretty much it, because it's pretty much the same roundabout shit with these guys. They keep trying to make the same silly ass points, trying to defend lack of accountability, and that's not it, y'all. Okay, so if you see somebody like that, or you come across a video of someone like that, you got to identify it for the bullshit that it is. Okay, and we can't be out here giving people bad advice. We have to give our people real advice, and that's the only way that we're gonna be able to help them. But that's it on that. Until next time.